Good afternoon. My name is Barbara Fuller, and as Chair of the Board, I welcome you to this November 4th, 2025 regular meeting of the Washtenaw County Board of Road Commissioners. Shelby Rockawick, our office coordinator, will describe how our meetings operate, how to access the agenda packet, and how people may participate remotely. Shelby.
There are multiple ways to make public comment during today's board meeting, whether you are joining us in person or virtually. If you are here in person and would like to make public comment, please fill out the sign-in sheet now. If you are joining us virtually, we ask you to raise your hand at the appropriate time in the agenda. And now I'll turn it over to Chair Fuller.
Thank you, Shelby. I now call this November 4th, 2025 regular meeting to order and ask Shelby to call the roll.
Chair Barb Fuller.
Present.
Vice Chair Rod Green.
Present.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Present.
Commissioner Gloria Llamas.
Present.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Present.
The following directors are in attendance: Managing Director Matt Washtenaw, Director of Engineering and County Highway Engineer Brent Schlack, Director of Operations Adam Lape, Director of Finance Dan Ackerman.
All right, please join us in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Support. Additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, Shelby, if you would, please.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Llamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the agenda is approved as presented. We have two sets of minutes to accept today. May I have a motion to accept the October 21st, 2025 board meeting minutes? The minutes appear on page 3 through 14 of the packet.
So moved.
Support. Additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, Shelby, if you would, please.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Llamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the meeting, regular meeting minutes of October 21st are accepted as presented. May I have a motion to accept the October 21st, 2025 working session meeting minutes appearing on pages 15 through 17 of the packet?
So moved.
Support.
Additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, Shelby, if you would, please.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Llamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. Next would be a hearing from our County Commissioner Liaison Caroline Sanders of District 4. I don't believe she's with us.
No, Madam Chair, she is not.
Okay. We'll move to public comment. This is the time set aside on the agenda to receive comments from the public. This is not intended to be a period for dialogue. Each person will be allotted 3 minutes to address the board, and Shelby will explain how people may be recognized to offer comments.
Since this is a hybrid meeting with both in-person and virtual attendees, we will take turns between those attending in person and virtually. For virtual attendees, we have provided some instructions on the screen on how to participate and make public comment. If you're attending this meeting virtually and would like to make public comment, please raise your hand now. If you dialed into the meeting from your phone, you can raise your hand by dialing *9. Our communications manager, Tiffany Oliphant, will unmute virtual participants with raised hands one at a time and will announce your username or last 4 digits of your phone number when it's your turn to speak. Please share your name and address before beginning your comments.
At this time, we do not have public comment.
Thank you. We will move to written communications appearing on pages 18 through 26. Commissioners, anything you wish to bring to our attention?
Madam Chair, I'd like to point your
Commissioner?
attention to page 20 of the packet and a memorandum from Judy Stone, commending the Road Commission on the work they did on South State Street. I thank just to thank them for that.
Okay,
Very kind remarks.
all right. Anything else?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner McCullum.
page 25. And there it is about Tom Jamrock requested information and Tiffany Oliphant responded quickly and he was very pleased with that. So I just want to say thank you to Tiffany Oliphant for helping to give information to people that they need in a timely manner. Thank you.
Certainly. I'm not going to read all of it, but on pages 20 and 21 and 22, 23, and 24, there is reference made to the request for an audible pedestrian signal at Jackson Ave and Parkland Plaza. I'm hoping our managing director can give us an update when you do your report. Is that reasonable on that?
I don't have
Nothing
an
in
update
addition?
as of yet,
Okay.
but certainly can cover that topic.
Okay,
Absolutely.
all right. There is a crossing on Parkland Plaza where it intersects Jackson Road. And there is a bus stop on the southeast corner of that intersection. So people are coming up on one side and having to cross that street to go to the bus stop. And there's a concern about folks who may have low vision or be blind in terms of being able to navigate, seeing traffic and getting across the street safely. So Matt and his team responded very quickly to this request. And as the documentation will attest, we're moving forward on getting a signal there that chirps. So if you can't see, you can hear when it's your turn to try and cross that intersection safely. If there's nothing further, we will move on. There was no public comment, so there's no need to respond. New business consent agenda. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items 1 through 6 as presented? The motions appear on pages 27 through 30 with background on pages 31 through 41.
So move.
Second.
Or, sorry.
Questions? Anything on the consent agenda people want more information about? It's pretty straightforward today. Okay, Shelby, if you would, please.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the consent agenda items are approved as presented. We have no action items for consideration today. We'll move on to report of the road commissioners, beginning with Commissioner Green.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On October 22nd, I attended the weekly chat session of the Washtenaw County Road Commission. We had one attendee. And on November 3rd, 2025, I attended the quarterly meeting of the Southeast Council of the County Road Association. And I gave an update on the negotiation committee. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Commissioner McCollum.
Madam Chair, on October 22nd, I attended the Washtenaw County Parks and Rec Commission special meeting. We discussed the East Side Rec Center and accepted the recommendation of the Newman Smith architecture firm. The Newman Smith firm team has outlined an aggressive timeline to meet our desired schedule with construction beginning in the summer of 2026. The bid for a contracting company began this month, and there will be a recommendation later this month on that bid, depending on the bids that we receive. On November 3rd, I attended the Southeastern Council meeting held in Coldwater, Michigan, and I made a report on the Commissioners Committee. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Commissioner Yamas.
On October 28th, not on October 28th, on October 30th, I viewed via Facebook the roundabout presentation for Dexter, which was done very well. A lot of good questions. And on October 29th, I attended the Washtenaw County Commissioners chat, and we had one visitor, surprise visitor. That is it.
Okay. Commissioner Smurs.
No report at this time.
All right. I will report that on November 1st, I attended the bi-monthly Dexter Forum and was pleased that our managing director attended as well. That group really appreciates hearing from Matt. Our other representatives have been there as well to answer specific questions. On November 3rd, along with Commissioner Green and Commissioner McCollum and Managing Director McDonnell, I attended the Southeast Council Road Commission meeting in Coldwater as well. Please note that the next meeting of that quarterly gathering occurs on January 26th in Calhoun County. And our managing director will step in as chair of that illustrious group, beginning what, January 1, or when does your?
The first meeting, so we'll prepare and certainly send out the information for the first meeting, but I was handed the reins yesterday.
The notebook is, the binder, right?
Correct.
Great.
Look forward to it.
Thank you for doing that, Matt. And that concludes my report. We will move on to staff reports. They appear on pages 42 through 50, and I will turn it over to Matt.
Thank you, Chair Fuller. Any questions on the finance or IT report? Certainly, we can have Dan up here shortly, but happy to answer any questions on the board packet.
I don't see any questions.
Okay. I did want to cover briefly some information I share with board members regarding new road funding. So some of that was discussed at our Southeast District meeting yesterday. Denise Donahue and Tom, both from CRA, presented on just the three major points where the new revenue is coming from. So first is the gas tax swap, which is sales tax going away beginning January 1st, and it's being swapped out with a 20-cent increase that will ultimately be funded through our Michigan transportation funds. We'll see MTF revenue increase next year due to that. However, ultimately the doesn't take place till January 1st, so we won't see new revenue being receipted in until roughly March. So we don't know. We do know that will come in March. The other two aspects revolve around a new revenue fund called the Neighborhood Roads Fund, NRF. The Neighborhood Roads funds are being funded by new taxes, one being a corporate income tax. So corporate income tax moving forward from 2026 on, that will be new revenue dedicated to transportation. The gas swap on the sales tax to the 20% increase, that should generate $1 billion in revenue for the state. The corporate income tax will generate $688 million in its first year. We anticipate it growing up to another $1 billion in 2030. So that's certainly a big number. How that's being distributed is there's a lot of things going on there in the Neighborhood Roads Fund, which we learned yesterday. So more details to come, but good news is new revenue. We don't know how that's going to get distributed or when it's going to get distributed to road commissions. So that is a little bit of a mystery, but we will certainly hear from Treasury and also MDOT and CRA on updates on when the information is made available. They're still figuring that out. And then lastly, the wholesale marijuana tax, that's that 24% new tax on marijuana sales. That is set to also be put into this Neighborhood Roads Fund. That is anticipated to generate about $420 million. One thing that we did lose as far as the new fiscal year, the state had previously redirected income tax of up to $600 million into the MTF formula. That no longer is going to take place, given all these new revenue streams. What does that mean to us? Actually, that does mean a decrease short term because of our fiscal years and the state's fiscal year, the state's fiscal year starts October 1, yet the new revenue streams really don't start till January 1. So we're going to see a little bit of a dip in MTF for receipts for October, November, and December is what's anticipated. With that, let me stop there. Any questions specific? Because I'm sure there are some.
Nice job simplifying it, actually.
Well, thank you.
Commissioner
One question. The corporate income tax, is that a new tax?
It's new to us as far as a revenue stream. I don't think corporate income tax is new to Michigan. And it was set to go away yet. The state has now going to continue with corporate income tax, and it's now being directed to roads with this neighborhood roads fund. That's my understanding.
Okay, so it's a diversion of the income stream that normally comes in then.
I don't know where it went before. I know it's now coming to us beginning in January. So corporate income tax revenue is now being directed in this neighborhood roads fund. I don't know where it was before. That's not something I was aware of. And with all the things that got done in this last month in Lansing, there's obviously this is new revenue streams to us. I don't know what previously it was.
Thank you.
Yep.
Commissioner Yamas, did you have a question? No. Okay. All set?
Okay.
All right.
With that, that leads us into some discussions that we're going to have in the upcoming meeting 2 weeks from now. We're going to have a working session on budget. A lot of things that we're getting from CRA and the state really project things related to the state's fiscal year. And I caution you in reviewing those numbers because our fiscal year is different. So we are calendar year versus the state begins their fiscal year October 1. So when the state's projecting a 30% increase for road commissions, roughly, that's from essentially the new revenue starts January all the way to end of September. So that's what they're projecting as an increase. We have to consider that, our calendar year for our fiscal year. So we're taking the information. Fortunately, they gave us projections for both 26 and 27. For the state's fiscal year, we're looking at a 30% increase in transportation funds coming to road commissions. The fiscal year 27, we're looking at about a 50% increase as compared to where we're at now. So these are all good things. This new neighborhood roads fund, again, we don't know how we're going to receive those monies or when, but what is our strong feeling is we don't want to start spending money we don't have. So we want to accumulate these funds and then establish policy on how we're going to spend those funds once we receive them. So we're going to have a lot of discussions in our budget meeting in 2 weeks, but then obviously as we gain information and history on how these funds are coming to us, we'll be making adjustments throughout the year, much like we do every year in first quarter and second quarter budget reviews. So that's how I anticipate that going. I know our township partners are going to be very interested in how this impacts the local road program. I would expect our local road program to remain much of what it is today. Maybe we end up reviewing how much we put into the local road program because we are going to see an increase this year in MTF. So that discussion will be forthcoming in 2 weeks. And then how that local road program is shaped for 2027 may be very different than 2026 after we have a sense of what are these new funds, what does that revenue stream look like, and how does it impact our local road program? All discussion to come. So that's kind of where our heads are at. More to come in 2 weeks. Any questions on that?
Commissioner Yamas.
So you said the new funds won't be coming in until March?
So Michigan Transportation Funds, we will get January's revenues in March. So it's always lagged. If you look at the last page of the board packet,
Yeah.
you'll see the MTF report,
Right.
and you'll see we just receipted in September's. So we're in November, obviously. So it's usually about a 2-month lag before we start to see what those revenues are. So we will know what our new revenue from January is in March. And thank you, Tiffany, for putting that up there.
Yep, I recognize it. I think my real question is, so we will not be getting MDF funds. So this is starting in 26 or 27.
So we'll continue to get MTF funds. Michigan Transportation Funds are our bread and butter. That is absolutely going to continue. We don't have a gap in that. What
Okay.
we don't know is this new funding source, the Neighborhood Roads Fund. We don't know when that's going to get distributed. We know it's coming from corporate income tax and also from marijuana sales. Those will come eventually, but we don't know when and how frequent or how much.
Oh, okay.
So that's the question.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, I guess my thought as I was thinking of these questions, will we have a loss of funds or a temporary loss of funds?
There will be a dip in the amount of MTIF we receive for the months of October, November, and December because of the income tax redirect is no longer there. That's that 600 million that the state had previously directed into our MTF formula. It's no longer valid. It's not going to happen because they've given us new revenue streams through the corporate income tax and also the marijuana tax, in addition to the 20-cent increase on MTF. So we've got a lot of new revenue. It's a good thing, but the timing of these new revenues is something that we just don't know all the answers yet.
Thank you.
Commissioner Green?
Are there any restrictions on how we can use the NRF funds?
So what I'm being told, it's much like MTF, that we can use it for the same uses we have Michigan Transportation Funds previously. However, there is not a match requirement for our local roads. So that's the big distinction. So that's where it may change our local road program. Once we receipt this money in, we may make changes, policy changes for 2027.
But it's only for the neighborhood road funds dollars.
Correct. Correct.
Match
MTF
is-
still has the same requirements of
Right.
local match.
Good luck keeping track of this.
Yeah, that was a little
Yes.
confusing.
Yeah.
Yes, but I anticipate, much like we have an MTF report, we'll have a report for the neighborhood roads funds. And so we'll have a running tally of, the receipts we've had for the year and then how we report it out as far as how we spent that money. They're saying is going to be similar to the Act 51 reports. We shall see. Guidance forthcoming.
Yeah. Commissioner Green?
So that should make townships happy because they're spending less money, right?
Well, it depends on what we do with our local road program and the policy that this board ultimately passes. But yes, in general, new money with less strings is a very good thing.
Thank you.
Remembering it's only the neighborhood road fund dollars.
Right.
Doesn't have the match requirement.
Correct. And that could be the basis of our local road program moving forward. But we haven't received these funds and don't know when those funds will be distributed for next year. So that's the caution. We're not going to spend money we don't have. So the funds received in 26 could be applied for the local road program in 27.
Right. Commissioner Yamas?
Just for my clarification, so the neighborhood road fund could help the local match fund, right? For local roads.
It will
but
definitely help the local road program.
it may not totally get rid of the match though, right?
That's a policy decision we're gonna have to make later
Okay.
after we understand the revenue stream.
Okay,
So definitely, I'll be working with staff on making recommendations for changes to local road program.
thank you.
Yes, no problem.
If it's blended money, then there's nuances in the
Right.
match.
I would think we probably wouldn't want to blend that money, that we may want to dedicate a portion of the
Okay.
neighborhood roads fund to our local road program. So,
Okay.
but all food for thought. These are things we need to start thinking about and be prepared as we're going to have discussions coming up about next year's local road program. So because we don't have the neighborhood roads funds yet, the local road program will be funded via MTF, which does have the match requirement.
Right. And it's important to note that the marijuana tax is now in the courts.
Right.
Yes, the
And they
new
need to
tax.
Stop it rather than paying it out and then trying to claw it back.
Yes.
later. So that's another variable that it's like, again, until Matt, Dan and Connie have it in the bank,
Right,
we're not
absolutely.
spending it.
Right.
correct. So it was a lot and more to come
Yeah.
in the next 2 weeks. I did want to make mention that we did close on the M52 properties and we did receive those funds. So that is one thing that has been accomplished and a very good thing. So thank you.
The check cleared?
It was a money transfer and,
Okay.
and it is in the bank.
Okay.
Absolutely. And then I will go ahead and bring up Brent Schlackert for our engineering report, and I'll touch on the topic of the request for the Jackson Road Parkland Plaza signal upgrade. So ultimately, when we do new signals, we need to be ADA compliant. Part of that ADA compliance is for those that are visually impaired or hearing impaired. So you have new equipment that meets those requirements, and typically we'll do that for new signals. But if there are requests such as the one we received at Parkland Plaza in Jackson for audible crossings, we absolutely will review it. And in this case, we forwarded those requests to our engineering group. For Michelle Ford, our senior project manager for traffic and safety, replied and indicated that we have those things on order, and when received, we will install them. So Brent, do you have an update besides that?
No, Brent Schlack, Director of Engineering. No, not much more. They're on order. I can go through. So this is Jackson Road. I can zoom out. You can see our offices up here. This is where we're at now. So Parkland Plaza is here. And this is the sidewalk that Commissioner Fuller was referring to. And then ultimately it leads to a bus stop, which is here. And so the request was to have this crossing here, which is signalized, become an audible push button. And so we've ordered that equipment and our own crews can install it. They'll just modernize the existing equipment out there. And so that does take a period of time to get those on order. It's not something we have in stock. So it'll take 6 weeks or so to get in, and then they'll be out to upgrade that. Fortunately, it's things that are above ground. So if it does freeze, they're able to replace that, being above ground. So the wiring is all there. It would just be a matter of replacing the units itself.
One question.
Commissioner Green?
Does the audible signal tell the pedestrian when the light has changed or when it's okay to proceed?
It does. So when you push the button, it'll have an audible voice that says wait. And then it'll tell the direction that you're crossing. And then once the walk symbol comes up, it'll then voice that you can walk crossing Parkland Plaza. So it'll give that indication. We can control that message. So we can program that unit to provide that simple message whenever a pedestrian pushes it. So yes, it will have that audible capability.
Thank you.
That answer your question?
Yes.
Good.
Anybody, something I mentioned to Matt yesterday or recently anyway, that bus stop, they have to cross, they come up the west side of Parkland Plaza, and then they have to cross that boulevard area to reach the bus stop. And I had asked Matt, who controls where the bus stop gets placed? And you indicated it was AAATA, right?
Yes, the ride is who ultimately determines the bus stop locations. My understanding is they like to pull through the intersection and go beyond it. They feel that's the safest for people getting on the bus. Brent, I think. you
Yeah,
agree with
that's
that?
yep, that's exactly right. Yeah, so our indication, our understanding is that the safest location based on what the ride is that they like to pull through, so that when the pedestrian gets off, they're not crossing in front of the bus potentially, so that they, because in some cases there'd be a crossing that would go, in this case, across Jackson. And in this case, we don't have that crossing, but in other locations there would be. So they want to pull beyond. So I can give you an example.
Looks like the sidewalk just keeps going, right? The one on the west side of Parkland Plaza
It does.
crosses the
It
two.
does.
Well, Brent, if you go back to that, if you just zoom in on the intersection,
Yeah.
as opposed to if you made the stop prior to the stop bar.
Yeah, yeah.
So then people may want to cross in front of the
front of the
bus and they
bus.
don't want that.
Correct.
So
So they pull beyond. So that,
then the idea is the bus pulls away and then the pedestrian figures out when
Yep.
it's safe to cross.
correct,
And it doesn't interrupt their flow of the route either.
right.
There's no
Okay, that
sidewalk
just-
there.
I'm,
There's
go
no
ahead,
sidewalk
Jeff.
in the median either. So they would have to go back across the
Yep.
street. Yeah,
Mhm.
so I see what they're saying.
Yep.
So can you talk to AATA, the ride, about that? I mean, doesn't it seem less, I get the not in front of the bus thing. I mean, we deal with school buses with that, right? They have the big arm that comes out, so the kids have to cross where they can be seen. That is a crazy busy intersection and people, I worry, that's all.
Yeah, we can certainly talk
We can
to
certainly-
AATA, the ride, so they can review that location and we can make them aware that we're upgrading the signal.
Yep. Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
No problem.
And anybody else? No? Okay.
Okay, so now I'll get into my report. First, just an update on the Tuttle Hill and Merritt intersection. So we are still waiting on some of the additional material for the rapid flashing beacons, the rectangular rapid flashing beacons. So those, we still don't have everything in to do that installation. As you previously saw, we have installed the foundations for those, so we're just waiting on the overhead equipment. The temporary rumble strips, those will be coming soon. We are a little nervous about some potential weather. So we are what we're indicating, and maybe Adam, and not to jinx anything, but there's potential weather this weekend that may require our plows, and we don't want to have temporary rumbles out that potentially could get plowed up. So, we're gonna wait a little period of time and then put some out to have the community experience those. So probably another week or two before those go out. We have reached out to the homeowners association regarding the site distance in the northwest corner of the intersection. There was concerns about site distance mainly for the pedestrian pathway. So if a pedestrian was on the pathway along Merritt and continuing, would be eastbound towards the intersection, there was concerns that vehicular traffic traveling south on Tuttle Hill could not see the pedestrian. And the area that is of concern is outside of the public road right of way. It's actually located within the homeowners of the association property. So we're reaching out to them, asking them if they can perform any type of brush removal. And we have not heard back yet, but that's going to be our request. We did measure the vehicular site distance, and that meets all our requirements for the intersection itself as far as vehicular traffic.
Time out, Commissioner
Yes.
Green?
If the homeowner association declines to take any action, is that where it ends?
Yeah, then we would, it potentially, I mean, then we would have to then go into acquiring potential right of way for a site distance triangle from the homeowners association, which would become very messy. So we would have to evaluate the situation once if we did hear that back. We feel the community is very supportive of some of the ideas that have come about, so we're pretty confident that they are going to perform those removals. But that is a possibility, yes.
Commissioner Yamas?
I guess I wanted confirmation because you did, at that meeting, I understand, and even in the video, informed them that that was part of their plan was to get a hold of the association because they are all members of the association. And the decision really lies within their membership, right?
Correct, yes. Yeah, so it would have to go to their association board.
And I knew that
For-
that was their plan. That's what they announced to us, that that was their plan to make that
Yeah.
happen.
Yep. Yeah, so we've officially reached out.
I'll just say, obviously, the pedestrian visibility is a key issue. But also the warning devices that we're going to be
Yes.
installing, once someone pushes them, that will create that visibility to drivers as well. That's the intent, is to have drivers aware of those pedestrians' intent to cross. So that should greatly help the situation.
It will, and on top of that will be the pedestrian stop signs for the pathway.
Yep.
Which that's kind of leads into some of their concern, is that a pedestrian that is on the side street pathway and they can't see them, that they can just continue into the roadway and then the vehicular traffic can't see them. Well, if there's a stop sign, then it kind of reinforces that, technically by law, they should stop for the public road anyway, but this will further enhance that, having some traffic control device to tell those pedestrians that they have to stop. So those are, we have received those, the pedestrian stop signs. And so we have staff going out to lay those out, to stake those locations, and that will be installed here pretty soon in the next couple weeks.
Commissioner McCollum?
Yes, maybe this is more a question for Matt, but because we had a fatal accident, and that's why we're doing all of this, to make it safe, with the neighborhood fund, could we use that to put a roundabout in?
Yes, any neighborhood road fund will have to prioritize all the needs within the county, but that potentially could be one of them. But obviously, again, that discussion, it's about a $2 million ask for one intersection in the county. So we are investing funds right now to make it safety enhancements. And then where does that fall in the priority list?
Yeah, because with the fatal accident, I would think that would be a high priority.
Certainly. That is why we're reviewing it. Ultimately, it's unfortunate we have fatalities on our road network, and we're always reviewing safety at all of our locations where we do have that fatality, and where there's enhancements, we look to strive to implement things
Yep.
that we're talking about. And ultimately, there's a lot of priorities out there, but safety is at the top of our priority list. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I would say, just to add to that, we're hoping that the features and the improvements that we're putting out now will help eliminate that.
And
And
the education.
yes,
The old adage of look both ways before you cross, ultimately, those kind of things that we're trying to enforce, that accountability on the pedestrian side of things as well. We've got to have these safety features, but it all goes sideways when they aren't used, when they don't push the button, when they don't look both ways, and then if they don't stop. Those are avoidable, tragic situations when you have an injury or fatality. And unfortunately, that does occur.
My understanding though, also along with that, is that there are speeding issues on that particular area and that the roundabout would help with that.
Yes, the roundabout is the preferred solution, because it does slow folks down. Absolutely. Yes.
There's also an enforcement element to the speeding on that road. We don't do that. right?
Yeah, I know that, but I do know that the roundabout would slow down.
At that particular point, yes.
We have had residents that have reached out to us about interest in spearheading, education efforts within the community. So we look at that as a positive. We've reached out to U of M. They have a program where they can have people come out and give these like pop-up type education efforts within communities. And so we're trying to work on the education side of things as well.
Okay. When you get a chance, Brett, could you let me know about the U of M program?
Yeah, I can.
Thank you.
Now getting to some projects, we have done some project announcements. Mainly these are for our 2027 construction year. Some of them actually have, not to confuse things, they have fiscal funding that are 26 funding, but we'll be constructing those in 27. And the first one's Hewitt Road. Hewitt Road between Packard and M17 or Washtenaw. It's a federal aid project. We've gotten $1.6 million. Of that, we are using our regular urban federal dollars. And then Congresswoman Dingell, through her community project funding, has awarded us $1 million to add to this project. So this project was announced, and construction we're continuing through design, and we're going to plan to construct this within 2027. It will be adding a sidewalk to the east side of Hewitt Road and bike lanes on Hewitt Road. So it'll be widening that road. The next one is 5 Points, or the intersection of Hearn River Drive, Mast, and Joy. This is a carbon reduction fund that we were granted, we were awarded. It's fiscal year 2026 funding. This one will be constructed in 2027, mainly because we have another project on the other side of Dexter that will be using this area as a detour. That was at the Island Lake, Dexter Main Street intersection. But this location will have $1.8 million that we were awarded of carbon reduction. That will be the construction of, we're going to call it 2 roundabouts, and one being a full circulating roundabout, and the southern one partially circulating. We did meet with the Ann Arbor Touring Society for as we're going through the design, to be conscious of this is a huge bike route. And so we wanted to get their opinions on what we were looking at for the design. So we're marching forward through design on that project. The next one is the Sibley Bridge. This is over Letts Creek between Bush Road and Werkner Road. This was awarded MDOT local bridge program funds in 2027, and we were awarded $1.5 million for this project. So those were our project announcements that just went out recently. As far as active construction, our preventative maintenance projects, Holmes Road between Ford Road and Michigan Ave, or business route US 12. This is a millage project. We've done some concrete work along this segment, but we will be postponing the paving until 2026. We were nervous with, we still needed to mill and then pave the road. We got nervous with the weather, and that we did not want to be in a situation where we were paving this road in not ideal conditions. this being a primary road, so we'll be postponing this, the paving until the spring. Warren Road Culvert, this is west of Dixboro and Ann Arbor Township. This is through a township agreement and a Water Resource Commission stormwater grant. The contractor previously has set the aluminum box. We are continuing to backfill the culvert and with anticipation of hopefully opening the roadway at the end of next week. We have a couple local road agreements. Yeah, thanks, Tiffany. Yeah, you can
Just a
see that
small
we're backfilling that now, and yeah. Looks great. Our local road agreements, we have an SAD in York Township within the Timber Ridge subdivision. The paving in this is completed and with shoulder work remaining. So that project is getting very close to being completed. Hawthorne Ridge in Boulder Ridge in Pittsfield Township. This is through a Pittsfield Township agreement. The paving is taking place this week. So as we speak right now, they're out there paving. So we're hoping to wrap those up in the next couple weeks. So aside from that, we're still continuing to work on 26 and 27 projects. If there's any
And
other
it's
questions?
November 4th, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we're fastly approaching season limitations, so.
Yes, we are.
I think it was a wise decision, and we're gonna have some carryover work
Yeah.
into next year, and that'll be part of the budget discussion in a couple weeks.
So that's my report. Unless there's a question? Yes.
Not about these projects, about the projects that are happening on US 12. Are we part of that or not? That's not our.
We are not.
jurisdiction.
Yeah, we're not.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be through the Brighton TSC, Transportation Service Center.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I knew it's the state's responsibility, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, over by Carpenter, between Carpenter and I-94, they're doing some resurfacing.
Yeah,
and that is
right.
MDOT. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm. I can certainly help you get in contact with people if you'd like.
Okay.
So
thank
just
you.
let me know. Okay.
Other
Any questions? All
for
right.
you?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Yep.
All right, Mr. Lape. With the operations report.
Good afternoon, Adam Lape, Director of Operations. Okay, so we'll do a little update here. Once dry run concluded, we've found our way back to work here recently. We'll show a few pictures of some culverts here. So this is the Judd Road culvert. It should be finding its way.
We've got it now.
Okay, all
Screen,
right,
yep.
perfect. Just 8 pictures of the Judd Road culvert, and then I'll go back to the normal update. But just kind of the process we're going through right now, this is one of the Drain Commissioner grant. I'll slow it down there for us. Sorry, it's going kind of fast there. So the normal Drain Commission grant that we've been working through, Judd Road, the heavy equipment crew has been working. That's in York Township. Essentially kind of set up the pictures here to show you kind of where we started. Where we went partway through.
Is that the old culvert over there? on the
Yes, ma'am.
side?
Yes, to the side there, there's your old culvert. And then obviously new culvert that we built there on site, considerably bigger, about 13 feet, 3 inches, I think, span, and then 50 foot long and about 6 foot 9 inches tall. And 2 individuals will be the people that show you that here in just a second. Those two. So you see they're kind of standing in there, yeah. That was kind of our way, I wanted to kind of tease those two a little bit, but, so that essentially
Remind us
is,
who that is.
that's Jason Klaus on the right and Ryan Lewis on the left. So Jason is the foreman and Ryan Lewis is the group leader for the heavy equipment crew. That's okay, Tiffany. Sorry, it timed out. Those groups, they do pretty good work. As you can see, that's a good sized culvert. Certainly something within our limitations that we work within, comparative to what Brent was talking about on Warren Road, where considerable depth of excavation, where our depth was about 13, 14 feet from what Ken and I were looking at on the plans. Maybe a little bit more in some areas just to establish a good bedding for the culvert. We had 2 excavators, some backhoes, quite a bit of our equipment out there to do it, but so it's within our realm that we can do. But there are certain culverts that are easy for us to let other people do. So it's kind of a good comparison to what Brent was displaying to what we're doing now. So probably this afternoon, everything goes as planned, they'll be back open and away we go. A little bit easier when there isn't paving to be done, so we can kind of restore the limestone and move on. So good work from that group. Everyone else kind of worked back into maintenance. Just trying to finish up some of the stuff we can do here in the fall, which is really just tend the roads gently, because we don't really want to disturb them too much if we get a bunch of moisture. Yeah, there's a potential for some precipitation Sunday, but given the way the weather is kind of coming into it, Friday's going to still be nearly 50 degrees before it rains. We may see a little bit of accumulation, but I would think the ground temperature will probably manage the majority of it for us, but you never know. So we are ready. I'm reluctantly ready, but everyone else is ready to get at it. So we're trained up, ready to go. A few of our senior members are doing some training today through the American Public Works Association, so APWA that you hear us refer to occasionally. There's still probably 15 people in the agency that never really got real training when they came here. So those more senior members that are, taking new members under their wings and trying to get them up to date too with modern technology, other than kind of here's the keys and drive that how it once was here, which was just traditional. So we've made a lot of improvements there. So like I say, anxiously ready to try that out, but prefer not to. But that's something we do. So for shifting a little bit to facilities, the feasibility study, we're kind of in the throes of that. We're actually gonna have a meeting after this. We're essentially into the point, did a little bit of site review. So we visited some of the areas like we've updated. And then we reviewed our 2 sites that we want to start gathering information for and sizing. So we're kind of in the programming stage, where we're kind of programming the size that we would need from our initial kind of wish list. Here's our vision, here's what we'd like to be. And then, like I've said a few times, kind of working back now into what reality do we have? What kind of space do we actually have on the sites? And then financially, what is that going to actually cost, which will be, a month or 2 from now, probably when we figure that out. So what we've done specific to the Manchester facility, we have done some site survey there because the site plan for Manchester has not been updated. Like our site plan here at the main yard has been updated a few different versions over the last 10 or 12 years. Just given the fact that we built a new material storage building and we had to change the plans a little bit to build that for the site plan itself. So we already have some topographical information here. So we did kind of some of that topo work, the topographical work there for the Manchester yard. So that'll help us as we plan over the next, few years into these, to have an idea of kind of what the earth has given us out there and what kind of elevations we have to start with. That also affects it to some extent, spacing and actual sizing of the building. You still have to account for, essentially water retention or stormwater retention to some extent on the property. So that affects kind of where we might place things in Manchester. To this facility, to this property, we have ample storage essentially for stormwater through previous construction and development nearly 20 years ago at this point with some of it, and then most recently with our material storage building construction that we completed. So that's the part of that process. So we'll probably be coming back within maybe a month or so, first part of 2026, and being able to potentially update the Manchester site plan, just so we have that and ready, so that can kind of sit and wait as we're kind of building out potential cost. I mean, a lot of it is estimated just to get our heads around it and see what's feasible. And then just step by step, kind of keep building these processes and make some good decisions. So it's been a good time. We'll continue. It'll get expensive as we go, because then we start knowing how much it actually will cost. So that takes time, but we start big and kind of work into reality a little bit. So any questions on that specific to the buildings? We'll keep coming back with more information. Yeah, so it was a good time kind of
We'll
going
target a
out.
working session meeting to present the material formally. So
Yeah, so you can actually see some pictures, and that's kind of a portion of what we'll kind of go through this afternoon, is starting to get an idea where something's going to sit on the property, so to speak, for both properties. So we can talk about that. Here will be very big. Manchester's a little more controlled space, so that's a good thing. But with that, that was the update I had. Hope to not update in 2 weeks that we've done some snow and ice winter maintenance, but we probably will. And so we'll update you accordingly. Same processes that we've had for the past few years. Same team kind of setting things up, which is kind of Jared and myself kind of helping in the back a little bit, and then better part of 90 people getting it done on the road. So
Salt
Equip-
barn's full.
I was
Yes,
just
ma'am.
gonna say,
Okay.
equipment's ready, barns are full.
yeah, Matt asked a question the other day in the budget meeting. Are the barns full? I was like, yeah, they're full. Okay.
Dry runs behind us, salt barn's
Yeah,
full. Good.
we've found our way through the season. So we still have a little work to finish, just to wrap up the construction season, but
Okay.
we'll be ready.
All right. Thank you,
Okay.
Adam.
Thank you.
Thanks, Adam.
And Mr. Ackerman. Finance report.
Good afternoon, Board. Dan Ackerman, Director of Finance. We'll talk Michigan Transportation Funds. Matthew, you've stolen my thunder, but
No.
I thought you did a great job explaining
If
everything.
you have more to add, please do.
Probably just maybe reinforce a little bit. So September MTF compared to last year was up about 8%, year-to-date 5% up. But as Matt shared with you, because of the way some of this new money has been enacted or the way they're distributing funds, we may be seeing decreases in the last 3 months of the year. So right now, if we use our year-to-date difference of 5% up, we would project about 38.7 million for Michigan Transportation Funds. Our budget's about 37.8. So we're probably going to stick with that, not knowing what that decrease will be. Again, you know me by now, and you know the organization, we're fairly conservative with this, so that's given today, it could change, but that's kind of the information we've received from CRA, the state of Michigan, and talking to our peers. So certainly lots more discussion on that, but we want to make sure that you always want your actual Michigan Transportation Fund receipts to be higher than what you budget. So, any questions on that?
The good news is, throughout the year, it's been trending high.
Right.
So to have a dip the last three, it's not gonna be detrimental to our budget. And then also December, we will still see, there's when marijuana was legalized in the state, there was a tax that still remains that we'll see the revenue from that tax in December. You can kind of see last year we had $4.1 million in MTF revenue, and that was accounting for the pot for potholes, essentially. Money is, as we like to say, that generally will come in December. That's not going away. That money will still remain, but we will see an MTF a little bit of dip from the income tax not being put in there.
So obviously we'll continue to monitor it closely, and things may change, but we're getting a lot of good information from the County Road Association and providing estimates for us, and it's good to be plugged in with that because there's so many moving parts.
Yep.
So we've been having lots of budget discussions, and 2026 looks quite impressive as far as the amount of projects we have, both in quantity and dollars. So definitely appreciate Brent and all his hard work with his spreadsheets. And I met with both departments. We've been crunching lots of numbers, and just want to make sure we're ready, excuse me, for the working session in a couple of weeks. As a reminder, we'll talk 2025 year-end budget as well as the preliminary budget for 2026. So anyway, I always enjoy all the numbers, but there's a lot there, so it's quite impressive. So we can't wait to share that with you in a couple of weeks. Happy to report we have a new record as far as the least amount of checks for a check run. Jamie Kraus maybe is still, yes, she's still, she's very busy with what she's working on, but I asked her if she either wanted to come in person or attend remotely, and she handles our accounts payable. And our most recent check run, 2 checks. 2 checks and 84 ACH payments. So that's the fewest amount of checks I've seen. So it's awesome. You know, definitely kudos to Jamie. She is very proactive as far as making sure, you know, new vendors, old vendors, getting them signed up on ACH. Again, checks probably will never go away, but
That's
having only 2 is just amazing. So thank you, Jamie. And we'll continue to pursue that as best we can. So
come a long way.
we've come a long way, yes. You know, we were excited when we were 50-50, right?
Yeah.
So, and I kind of paused when she sent that to me. I said, 2? Wow.
Is that a typo?
Yeah, right. We've been averaging like 5 or 10, I think, so. So thank you, Jamie, for that. Appreciate it. And besides that, can't believe it's November and trying to wrap things up. There's several final township billings that we were told we can prepare. As Brent mentioned, there's a lot of projects that are still ongoing, Timber Ridge. A lot of those involve invoicing, so we're anxiously awaiting those to be wrapped up so we can send the invoices out and hopefully receive payment in time to include with our budget and before the audit and so on. So just a really busy time for us.
And the
So,
holidays jiggle the wagon too, don't they? In terms
yeah,
of
and
meetings and.
right, sometimes townships only meet once a month and they may cancel that around the holidays, so it is definitely imperative that we get those to them as soon as possible, so. And that's my report, unless there's any questions.
Okay,
I did
thank-
not see any.
Okay,
thank you, Dan.
Dan?
thank you.
Also note, at the working session next time on the 18th, we'll also, on top of budget, we'll do our annual look at the board bylaws as well. So FYI, that'll be on the agenda. Okay, that concludes our report.
All right. Some reminders, November 18th, as Matt pointed out, we have a working session at 9 a.m. We'll go over Q4 of 25 and projections for 26 for our budget. And then folks, if you can remember to pull out the bylaws, take a look at them and be prepared to discuss them at the working session. That starts at 9, regular meeting at 1. Chat sessions, which occur every Wednesday at noon. Commissioner Yamas is coming up tomorrow. Commissioner Smers on November 12th. I'm on chat November 19th. November 26th, there is no chat. The road commission is closed in observance of Thanksgiving. Commissioner Green on December 3rd. Commissioner Yamas, December 10th. Commissioner McCullum, December 17th. And then the next 2 weeks, December 24th and 31st, no chat. The road commission is closed again in observance of the year-end holidays. Any questions on any of that? Okay. There's no further business to come before the board. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. Didn't say that very loud.
Shelby, if you'd call the roll, please.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smers.
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, we are adjourned. See everybody in a couple of weeks.